Welcome back to the General Tire Jim Beaver Show. Well, welcome back for those of you in national syndication. Welcome to the show. Those of you that are tuning in on YouTube and online. My guest this week, I don't know, some kind of weird relative, Mia Chapman. What's happening, Mia?
Yeah, weird relative. No, thanks for having me. It's been a while since I've been on the show, so we'll see
Actually,
what we're up to.
well, it's not like we don't talk 3 times a day, almost every day of the week. But I was like, it's
Yeah.
been probably better part of 2 years since you've been on the show. I looked and I was like, man, it's been 2 years. I feel like at times I feel like you're on here all the time because it's easy because I can just text you, hey, hop on. I don't have a guest. And I was like, oh crap, it's been 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, so yeah, it'll be good to catch up. I feel like we kind of always go off tangent, but makes it very interesting.
I think that's a good thing because like you do a lot of interviews, like you get hit up for quite a few podcast interviews and things like that from time to time. You do a few a year, you know what I mean? And it's like I think what comes out of you with when you're on with me, because I know you on a very personal level, it's like it's a different side of Mia. So I think people enjoy that just because it's not the normal Mia Chapman stuff that they're used to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's definitely a lot more relaxed.
Well, and I like that being said, like you've actually had a lot, and I laugh because you and I are one and the same. We're very private people, and you know what I mean, like we know each other, family, stuff like that on a private level, but it's like what I put out on social media normally isn't me. What you put out on social media, and I don't mean it's different person, I just go, we hide like a side of our lives that don't go on social media, you know what I mean? And there's just we
Yeah.
have reasons for it. So I don't want to say our social media is a farce because it's not. It's just there's another part to us that most people just don't get to see. And so I think that's one of the things, like when you come on here, like we get these glimpses into Mia Chapman behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah, more definitely so.
And so that being said, I do want to say, because I was giving you crap, she's sitting in a white room right now. And I'm like, what the hell? What are you doing? Well, she hasn't been public about it, but Mia Chapman is now a homeowner and she's in an empty room in her house. So that's got to feel pretty happy,
Yes.
gratifying.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. Yeah, very white rooms. We're still getting everything, like figuring out what style to do the house. So this is definitely one of the rooms that has not been done yet, but it's been fun getting to put like my own twist and personality into the house. So we'll see once it's all finished, but it's definitely a little weird. I've always lived with my parents since, gosh, about 3 months ago. So yeah, still getting adjusted, but it's pretty nice.
Well, and I know like talking with your dad, like I struggle because Addie's 16, and she's, gonna go to college here in a couple of years, stuff like that. Like your dad and I talk, quite frequently also. And like I know when you moved out, he's like struggle bust, and you're literally just down the street. It's not like you're far, but he was like, I don't like this. And the thing is like you guys didn't ask for any help to buy the house, nothing. You just went out and bought a house. And I think your dad's just like, oh, Mia doesn't need me anymore.
It kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, we've been looking for a while, but just, yeah, I wanted to stay close to my parents and not move too far. So there's a house that came up for sale near them, and it had pretty much everything we wanted. I mean, it's a 4-bedroom house, so it's definitely pretty roomy and a lot of room to grow in it. But yeah, with that being said, there's still, yeah, 4 rooms that we're still figuring out what to do with. But my parents come over all the time and I'm always over there. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, you've got so much room now. Your dog's having major birthday parties that you've been planning. So, I mean,
We just had, yeah, my dog turned 7 yesterday. And so they are my kids. Like they are my human kids. That's what they are. So I made this little birthday party. I even made invitations and I
I didn't
sent
get
them
one.
to
What the heck?
I gotta send it to you because it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, that was the whole
I'm
thing.
heartbroken. I didn't get an invitation to your dog's birthday.
I don't know if you would have driven the 3 hours, but
Actually, don't question me. You know I would have.
oh man, yeah, no, I like fully went out, bought all the toys, wrapped them, put them in a little basket, had cake and everything. It was, yeah. I'm a little crazy with my dogs.
When you moved out, was there a custody argument with the parents over the dogs?
Surprisingly, no. Like, especially my dog, because I got her when I was 16. And so she's always been at the house, like, literally always been there. But they come over all the time to see her. So I think that kind of makes up for it.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's like when I got my house, it saved up and stuff like that. It's like I don't know. It's just one of the. I don't want to say you're adulting now, but it's one of those where there's just like once you do that, it's like you feel accomplished. Like, hey, I don't know. There's just an accomplishment when you actually own your first house. It's like renting is great when you actually have ownership over a house. You feel like you've accomplished something in your life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the one thing I knew I never really wanted to rent a place, because it's hard to put money away and get a place that, you actually want and dream of. So I just saved up forever, and once, the right place came along, then it was like, "Okay, we can do this." So, yeah, it literally happened within the matter of a month. Everything was from start to finish done, so,
Like
yeah.
like I said, now your dad's not far away from more three-wheeler storage, so just start
Oh,
spending
yeah.
it.
The garage is already filling up quite a bit, so
I would be disappointed if it wasn't. Joe was like, "Yep, I stored your stuff for 20 something years. You're storing mine for the next 20 something."
Oh, yeah, the UTVs, the jet skis all over here, so now he can free up some room for his three-wheelers, and I'm sure to get more. I feel like he's always looking for more.
That's you know what? That's an investment, right? It's all gonna be yours someday, Mia.
Oh gosh, I know.
Well, your rider will fight you for it, but
He'll definitely have to take probably half of them or more.
well, talking about jet skis, I want to talk about that because so you're also now a proud owner of a super chicken. You had that out on the lake, I think, a couple of weeks ago. We're doing a build to that we can talk about a little bit, but let's talk about jet skiing because I drug you out to run what you brung. You came out with me, and I know Kyla was there. We had we had Colson doing some video, but first time riding a stand up. Let's talk about it because I know you've been on sit down jet skis before, but first time riding a stand up. How was that? She actually did. I will give you credit because I give you crap about everything. You did really really well for your first time.
Yeah, it was terrifying. I had no, I've never ridden one before that weekend. I did like the sit down ones a little bit, but that was about it. So, yeah, we went into that and I was nervous, but I had Kyla with me, so that was insanely nice because she obviously knew everything about what she was doing. And so, yeah, she taught me, and I think I was standing up within like 10 minutes of being out there, which I fully did not expect. I was expecting to be riding around on my knees, but it was easier than I expected, but definitely challenging. So yeah, I think that kind of sparked the whole wanting to get into jet skis and stuff because I love it. We're gonna have to get one eventually of our own. But yeah, so then my dad was actually the one to be scrolling on Facebook Marketplace, came across this killer deal for a super chicken and a trailer. So yeah, that day he ended up messaging the guy, picked it up, and now we're owners of a super chicken. Which
Nice. Yeah, how was it riding it the first time? Super chickens are different. It's kind of fun.
it's so fun. It was so much easier, obviously, than a stand up, but it's like a little boat. Like it's really hard to like flip them over or do something crazy with, but I
Were
took
you
my
flat
dogs
spinning it
out.
yet?
Huh?
Were you flat spinning it yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah,
Baby steps.
baby steps. Yeah, that's fun. Now you're down the rabbit hole of a full build. I mean, we can kind of tease it for SEMA. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you got bit by the bug, like not owning a jet ski in May to now doing a SEMA build on a super chicken. That's like literally you went from 0 to 100 miles an hour real quick.
Pretty much, yeah. Thanks to you and my dad. Yeah, we're fully deep in this now. But it'll be super fun. I'm excited getting into just like customizing everything, coming up with colors, ideas. So, yeah, I
Super
can't
chickens
talk.
are awesome because it's like a mini boat, like you said. Like you can put the ice chest rack, you can get the swim step on the back. Like it becomes like a miniature boat for two people. So that's what I like about them. You know, it's not like a stand up where it's just one person. That you can actually go out, cruise, enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I had my dogs in there. We had, yeah, my brother in there all weekend. I mean, we were having a lot of fun with it. So, definitely some upgrades we want to do, but I think it'll turn out really cool.
Yeah. So I want to go back, 'cause it's been a couple years since we've come on and you've come on and talk a little bit about your career. We've talked about like the past and kind of growing up and stuff like that, but I want to talk about the last few years because we're in a weird point in the industry, and I know like you've been kind of in a transition period in your career, stuff like that. But I want to kind of go back to like the last full year you were competing with like the Red Bull Scramble Series. I mean, when you won the championship the one year, and then ended up getting an award from the Off-Road Hall of Fame, and then you came into that next year. But how was that? I felt like you got your mojo back there. You were kind of running up front, and it was like you've been in this transition period for like 4 or 5 years. It's been this weird kind of, I don't even want to call it purgatory. And I feel like that Scramble Series, you kind of refound yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like once I hit like 16, 17, when I kind of stepped out of doing like the whole cart situation, it was like a whole different realm into the UTVs, and the industry is obviously constantly changing. So it's changed quite a bit, and I was really just trying to find my footing in something and whatever I enjoyed. So I feel like I really got the mojo back when we got into the scramble stuff because it came from like I came from doing short course, so the scrambles were similar enough to that, but they were so much fun. I mean, we raced in some of the craziest places. Alaska was definitely my favorite. I was running up front basically the entire time until the last 2 laps. But it was just a lot of like up and down these hills, into the forest coming out of it. And that's kind of how all of them were with their own elements. I mean, racing on the beach was definitely insane. So, yeah, it was fun to go race in that series and then win the championship out of that. I think it was definitely what I needed. So, yeah, that was really fun, and then, yeah, the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame came shortly after that, which I've never been to, so that was a surreal experience, and being able to, win the award that I won was pretty insane. I didn't even expect to get anything going into that. I was just happy to even be there and be, kinda nominated for that award, so, yeah, it was a pretty insane year, but in the best way.
Yeah. Well, and then, obviously, as all this is going on, and we're going to dive into talking a little bit of short course, some other stuff, going on, but you've also had this love hate relationship with desert racing. Talk a little bit about that because it's like, I feel like right now you're on the love side after the Mint. You guys had a great run at the Mint, had a podium, I don't want to say in the bag, but you were in podium contention until about 30 miles out and you're having some problems, and it's the Mint, stuff happens, but how's desert racing? Is it that's one that it's completely like, coming out of short course where you've, taken over 100 podiums, 8 championships, all this, and you came into desert racing, and I was there for like your first desert race, and it literally just threw you in a blender. You're like, spit you out the other side. You're like, what the hell just happened?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think I went into that, like, trying to prepare for everything that everyone's told me. Obviously, I had no idea what it was like coming from doing, like, 30-minute tops of races into, like, hours in the desert, getting beat to hell basically the entire time, but I definitely really didn't like it at first. Like, it took me probably a good 5 races before I was like, okay, like, this is fun. I get where people are getting the enjoyment out of this, and I think I could too, but it was a big adjustment, and being in the car for that long was a big thing for me. I was not used to that and just getting thrown around, and we had a lot of work to do on the car to figure out how to make it ride smoother so I'm not, just feeling beaten there the entire time. So once we kinda started doing that, it helped a lot tremendously with the shock work and all of that, so yeah, this year desert racing, it's a love-hate relationship. I mean, it started out decent, and then we got into the Mint, and it was like we were doing super well. I teamed up with the R&R team, and so I went in the last third and fourth lap. We were sitting pretty decently, made up a lot of time. I think we were up in like the top four coming into like the last, I want to say 30 miles or so. And then we had it was an exhaust failure, I don't remember exactly what, but that put us down for,
Right out of
like
the turbo was like the header pipe, if I remember right.
yeah,
Yeah, the header pipe or the exhaust coming right out of the turbo broke, and you guys were literally like shooting flames out the turbo.
yes, yeah. And it was pretty close to the end, I mean, we were just happy to bring it home to the finish in a decent place, but yeah, I think that put us down, like, 45 minutes, maybe even longer. So, yeah, I mean, I had my co-driver Bryant with me, and he was out trying to fix it. I mean, we were literally tearing pieces off of the car and try to put them around this exhaust to keep it from burning things and spreading even farther. So yeah, that took a good while to fix, but we got it back up and running, made it to the finish, and that was the most gratifying finish that I've done because I truly did not. I just thought we were gonna be stuck out there in the desert.
That's what's funny about desert racing, and it's like I don't know, any desert racer you talk to has a love-hate relationship. So it's, you know what I mean? It's one of those where that's completely actually, I question anybody's sanity that doesn't have a love-hate relationship. It's like I do Vegas to Reno and I've done it solo, and you get, you know, it's about 550 miles. You get like 450 in and you start counting the miles down, and then you get to 500 and it's like you're ticking them off, and then you're like, why do I do this? I hate myself. You're hurt, you're over it, you're ready to be done. Then you cross the finish line, you're like, oh great, you have a beer, and then you're like, oh okay, all right, I could do this again. And you're like, you know, it's just one of those where it's like you hate it until it's done and you want to do it again. And it's the weirdest,
Yeah.
it's the weirdest, I don't know, I don't know how to put it into perspective.
No, that's exactly how I would describe it. That's definitely how I feel, but I think the reward after being out in the desert for hours on end, getting beat and dealing with whatever problems you have and making it to the finish, that's where like the okay, we can do this again. This is kind of fun because when you're able to like accomplish that, it's definitely really rewarding. But yeah,
Uh,
a love-hate relationship this year with it for sure.
Well, and I hate, you know, and I think that's it. It's like desert, like short course, and I don't want to slight short course drivers at all, but if you finish a short course race, like you're kind of expected to finish it. If you don't, it's kind of weird. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's, you know, it's like desert race, you're not supposed to finish it. So if you do, there's that gratification. It's like they want to say everybody gets a trophy. No, not everybody gets a trophy in desert racing, but I still feel like you won, even if you just finish, you know. And it's like I've got a lot of people that don't understand desert racing, and you know, they ask, did you win? And you'll answer no, but we finished. And I'm like, oh, you finished. And I'm like, no, it's like an accomplishment. Oh, you finished. Like, what's the big deal? You know, and it's
Yeah.
one of those weird things where they're used to, oh, 500-mile NASCAR race. It's easy. You know, 30 of the 40 cars finish, and the ones that didn't because they got crashed out. It's like desert racing. You're like, yeah, no, like you're not supposed to finish. It's 500 miles, but it's not 500 NASCAR miles.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. I think that was a hard thing for people to understand at first, because before, like, really entering into desert racing, it was like most of, the people, like our friends, the people we saw at the track came from short course. So going in the desert, it was like we were so happy, and I definitely was happy when we finished. And they're like, "Why? Like, you didn't podium, you didn't win." But it's like once you're in it and understand it, like I think that's where that understanding comes from.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. There's levels where you start out in desert racing and you're not finishing and you're having all kinds of problems. And then you actually get where you're regularly finishing and then you're excited. But then what you can get where you are like at the Mint, where you're actually competitive and you can podium and you can take a win and you can taste it. Like there's these levels and it's like it's an addiction. And once you get to that, then it's like a, you know, a crack fiend. You're just like, I want to do another one. I can win this thing. And it's like you want to race every weekend, you know? I'm sure short
Yeah.
course is the same way though. If you're running to the back of the pack, you're not so excited when you know every weekend you show up and you can win. Gets you a little more excited to show up to the track.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, regardless, yeah, if you get a podium, it's a great weekend. If you finish, it's a great weekend too, because either way, there's a stacked field of cars in desert racing and short course. I think the difference is just the amount of time you're racing for. But, like, the Baja Nevada was a big turning point for me and the whole team because it was like before that we were doing okay. We were finishing, had some engine or mechanical failures here and there, but then we go into Baja Nevada and it was like 650 miles, like my biggest desert race I've ever done. And we finished, I think it was third. And that was huge because it was a long day of racing and my brother helped drive, so that was nice because I could get out for a little bit and then hop back in towards the end. But yeah, that was a big one for us.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Yeah, Ryder's like the freaking Energizer Bunny. Like that kid, I swear, he'll jump in, he'll drive at any point in time, he'll work, he'll wrench. Like, oh, we need to overhaul an engine at 3 in the morning, and we have 30 minutes to do it. And here's Ryder like knee deep. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the kid. Literally, I've never seen anybody that eats, sleep, breathes just racing, motorsports, wrenching, grease as Ryder does. I don't know. He's just so into it. It's great.
Yeah, no, he is the definition of an Energizer bunny. He does he does so much now. I mean, he works on the cars. He is working with Ryder Van Beekum, his friend, on building engines now, which is huge. He's taken a school at class, like mechanics, and yeah, he kind of knows how to do it all now, even out there on the racetrack. I mean, that kid has absolutely no fear when it comes to doing really anything with the car. I mean, if the car is not performing right, he's gonna find a way to make it do what he wants it to do. So yeah, he's a cool kid. I mean, he has so much talent too in every aspect of it. So it's cool to watch him grow up into the kid he's becoming now.
You do realize he's going to trim that out of this and like just replay it. Writer's like, oh, my something
I,
positive about me. It only took me like 16 years of my life to get that out of her.
you can't tilt him too often or he gets a bit of an ego. So we throw it in here and there.
Oh, well, I want to kind of go back, and this is probably one of the few questions that I can ask you that nobody else does, mainly because you haven't been it's super forthcoming on it. But I want to go back and talk about the Scramble series, but I want to talk about you breaking your back because I know that one, like that rebooted you, like just I think on a human level there was like a change that happened. Because here you are, like 20 something years old, invincible, Red Bull athlete. You've accomplished all this stuff. And then, I know you put some stuff out on social and kind of walk people through the process. But like, I know on a personal level, like that one really, like, one, breaking your back's a serious deal. But two, like, I think there was something that switched in you where you started looking at things in life a little bit different. Take me through, like, literally the accident and kind of the days after that.
Yeah, going into that weekend, I mean, there was so many things going on, positive big things. I mean, that was the first time we were premiering me being fully Red Bull branded, so I was stoked about that. It was a big thing, and then I loved the ranch scrambles. Like those were some of my favorite races, and so I felt good about every aspect going into it. I was in great shape. I mean, really did not expect to start that race day, and it was just a simple like water crossing break in the track that I just didn't foresee anything like that happening. And yeah, I think it was within the first few laps of it, but yeah, I went over the water crossing probably about 60, 70 miles an hour, which I probably should have checked out for it a lot more, but everything just, yeah, the whole car bottomed out, everything kind of compressed down. And then I came out of it, and usually I would just keep going. Like, yeah, that hurt, but you race through it, you learn how to. But everything kind of just locked up in my body. And it got to the point where I couldn't even take a breath. Like, I was just driving there, I slowed down, and I was trying to just take a breath and catch it, and it wasn't coming. And so then I kind of pulled off and I was waiting a minute and nothing relaxed. And then my fingers and my arms, my legs, my feet started going like tingling and then numb. And I was like, oh, this is not good. Like, this is not a normal feeling. And so I radioed over to my dad, and they were able to send a team out there just to kind of assess what was happening. And then ultimately they brought the ambulance. I went in there, still at this point did not have any clue what was going on. I didn't even think I broke my back. But I think you have so much adrenaline, you don't fully feel like what exactly is going on. So yeah, I got in the ambulance. They took me to the really small hospital. I think it was a hospital or an ER in Texas, but it was like the only one with a certain machine where they could take a scan and do it. And so there's like two rooms in this like little hospital. And I was like, where the heck are we? But yeah, we did all the scans and everything, confirmed that I broke, I think it was a T7 in my back. And that was big because I mean, I'd broken my collarbone, but that took like a couple months to heal. It was kind of like nothing. But my back, it limited me from doing everything. And being in a brace like that for so long, and just it takes a big toll on your mental and not just your physical. But
You
Yeah,
can't
it
do what
was a
you
lot.
used to. You can't do it like
No.
because I remember like you and I would call, and I'd call you, I don't know, not every day, but every couple days, and we were just checking in, and like you're just on the couch just doing nothing, and you're just like, yeah, this sucks.
It was miserable. Yeah. I mean, they really didn't want me to be up and walking either. So it's like I couldn't even go and like walk around really, just being stuck in a bed or on the couch. But yeah, it was a tough time because I mean, you're just literally doing nothing, missing races, sitting at home. But yeah, we got through it. And even now, I mean, my back still hurts a little bit occasionally. It's not the same as it was. So yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. I feel like 50 times older than I did before that happened.
It's funny because back injuries are weird because even when they heal, and I've got one I've lived with since I was in junior high playing football, and I injured my back, and it's like every day I wake up and I feel it. If the weather's cold, I really feel it, but you're stiff, you're
Yes.
creaky, you can't bend over like you used to, even when you work on flexibility and Kyla's worked on stretching with me and stuff like that. I've got all these stretches which have phenomenally helped. But it's just like you're still not the same. Even when they say you're fully healed, it's like there's a difference. There's always this like, at least with me, there's this minor pain it's just this dull pain that's always there.
Yeah, it's always there. It's gotten better as I've like was able to get back into the gym after it happened and kind of strengthen all of those muscles and everything back up. And obviously stretching helped a ton too. But yeah, every day there's always a little bit of a minor pain there. And it's weird because the weather really does play a part into it. Like when it's about to rain or it's cold, it just amps up even more. But yeah, it's been different figuring out how to navigate things after that and just get back into a good mental space, especially that happening kind of like literally in the middle of the year, in the middle of our season, then being off for months and trying to get back into the swing of things quickly. Because I think I was racing a week after I got cleared from doing all the physical therapy and stuff. So it was like there wasn't really, besides the downtime of being hurt, there wasn't really a break after that to kind of rebuild and get back into it that way. But
Well, and I know they kept pushing it back because the doctor, like, you would send me pictures of like the X-rays and things like that. It was just like, nope, you're not ready yet. And they'd say, yeah, we think you'll be good in 2 weeks. And you show up, and they're like, yep, you're not good yet. I felt like it
yeah,
just kept lingering, and you're just like, what the
yeah.
hell?
No, it was like a kick in the teeth every single time. It was like it was looking good, probably gonna get cleared in a couple weeks. We go back, do a scan, it's still there. It's like, nope, you got another 2 to 3 weeks or whatever it was. So yeah, it was a lot. It was challenging, but yeah, we made it through it.
Well, and that's, I don't know, to me, because for those of you listening at home, you got to realize, like, she didn't roll the car, she didn't do anything, she just bottomed out off a jump, and you'd already
Yeah,
done the jump a couple of times throughout the weekend. You just landed weird. And it's like, you've crashed cars before, I've crashed cars before. I mean, it happens when you're a race car driver, but like when I crash, it's like the world goes into slow motion, and it's like after every flip, you're like assessing your mind. I can't put it into perspective. It's like a crash that looks like it's maybe 5 seconds long on TV literally seems like it's 5 minutes long, when
hmm
you're going through it, because you're like, "All right, we rolled once. Okay, all my limbs are still here. I feel okay. All right, that's 2 hits. Okay, I'm still good. Nothing hurts. Oh, that's 3 hits. Man, that was a little abusive, but I think I'm all right." Like, you're doing these self checks after every flip, and it's like all this
yeah.
goes through your mind. You know what I mean? So when the car finally does stop rolling, then you do that final assessment. You're like, all right, well, no tingle, no hurt. Like, that had to have been weird because you didn't have that. There was no slow motion. It was just literally a bottom out off a jump, and you're like, whoa, stuff isn't right. There was no way to really self-assess like there is, like, because
Mm-mm.
you didn't get that time slowing down. And for anybody that hasn't crashed, I can't even. It's like the Matrix when they do like bullet time or something, and everything goes into slow motion. That's how it is when you wreck a race car normally. But Mia, you didn't get
Yeah.
that with this one.
No, I went over a creek crossing and then you felt everything lock up in a pain. I was like, oh, this is weird. Maybe it'll, go away in a minute. Kept driving for a minute. It didn't go away. Then the tingling came and I was like, oh, this is terrifying. Because I've never had that, even when I've crashed like really bad. It was just over a creek crossing and that was it.
That was I guess by crash standards, like, it was probably the worst injury you've ever had, but it was probably the most boring crash of all time, right? It wasn't even a crash.
Literally. Yeah, no, everyone expects this big crazy crash story whenever like they heard I broke my back. And it was like, nope, just, a little river crossing in a track. That really did it. Very anticlimactic.
So talking about that, obviously, you come back and things like that. I know it's taking you a while, you know what I mean, to kind of regroup and kind of figure things out. I know, obviously the mint this year was a big deal. I know, I got some exciting stuff you and I've been talking about. Going to go to racing the course series this year, kind of back to your short course roots. They've got that new TV package with Racer Network and stuff like that. And I know, like, these tracks are ones that you cut your teeth on. Like, Glen Helen, Firebird, you've raced at Victorville before. Like, that's got to be exciting because this is like all this craziness you've had since you're 17 and went desert racing and scramble series and trying to find yourself. I feel like this is like your homecoming. Like, this is, I know you on a personal level, like you're very excited over this because you're like, all right, we're going back to my bread and butter. I know this.
Yeah, no, I'm beyond excited. I feel like everything's kind of coming full circle. And I have so many laps and times at these tracks, so I feel good going into it. Absolutely love my short course car. I feel really comfortable in it. So yeah, I'm super excited to get back to doing something that I literally did it for half of my career. So I feel like it's just brushing up on a few things, get some practice in, and go into the first round in October and kind of see how we do. But I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, like, you're so comfortable in this car. It's like crazy. I think it's actually a problem because you're probably going to be buried with this car at some point when you're like 90 years old because you
Mhm.
like it so much. But I want to talk about, like, because the last couple of years, I mean, obviously you've done scramble, you've done some desert, you've bounced around. Let's talk about nitro cross because you went and did 2 nitro cross races. And that was one of those where you were starting to figure it out about the time the series folded. But how was that? Because I mean, that was something completely different. Now you're racing side by sides on pavement.
Oh, completely different in every aspect. Yeah, I had no practice time in the new car, the new canyons that they had going into that. And I don't think very many people did, but that was a whole new element to learn. I really didn't expect it to be as different as it was than the X3, which is what my short course car is. But it was different. It took me a minute to figure out, and then you throw on, the street tires and the pavement and the dirt and this crazy track layout. It was really challenging. I think it was a little more challenging than I expected. But yeah, it was fun. It was definitely frustrating to figure out, especially I think we only got like 3 2-lap practice sessions, like
That
not
that
very
was
long
what
at
was
all.
rough. And there was no
Yeah.
way, like, in short course, you got a lot of practice. You can go rent tracks. They've got practice days, like, and these are purpose built, and then they tear them down. So it's not like these tracks exist. And that was the thing.
Mhm.
Like, we went into Richmond, and it was like you never even sat in the car. They drop you in it, and that you go out. And they're like, "All right, now you here. You get 3 laps, and then you got to go qualify." And you're like, you had no idea. Like, you're just like, what in the world? Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of a weird situation to be put in for any race car driver, I think.
It was weird. Yeah, I wasn't really used to kind of being that fast paced with something. I mean, we did that when we raced the Pro Light at Crandon years ago. But other than that, it was like I always felt prepared going into something, but this one was completely different. And it took me a while. Yeah, Richmond was the first one. It took me a while to kind of get used to the car, and there was all kinds of things you had to have on in the car before you went out there, or else it wouldn't perform correctly. I don't even remember what they were by now, but yeah, and it drove really nice. Like, it was a really, really stable car. You could do just about anything with it, and it wasn't getting upset, but just getting it to rotate and turn on the pavement was challenging for me because I didn't really do much pavement stuff before that. And so figuring out how to get it to rotate, but not rotate too much to where you're scrubbing speed and still trying to be fast was a struggle for me. But yeah, I feel like I really got the hang of it during that last round before the whole series folded, which is kind of heartbreaking because I feel like that's when I was like, okay, this is fun. Like, we can get the hang of this quick.
Yeah.
But
It was like
yeah,
desert racing. It took you a couple races to actually go, "Oh, I
yeah.
like this." Like, and then when you figure it out, they're like, "Yep, no more, sorry."
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, I think it would have been super fun, but regardless, it was a really good teaching experience. I feel like I learned a lot. coming out of doing that. So yeah,
Well,
I'm glad we went and did that.
you completely we glazed over like in this whole like conversation the pro light at Crandon. Let's talk about that because that was something
Oh
that
yeah.
was kind of a dream of yours, and you and I worked together and put that thing together and got that funded a few years ago. And so you show up to Crandon. I guess you'd raced Crandon before in mod carts and things like that. Which how much different was a pro light than a mod cart? Because I got to think they got to be somewhat similar. I mean, rear wheel drive mod cart power to weight, they're crazy fast. Like, I gotta think the Pro
Yeah.
Light obviously was bigger, it was a little bit different, but it probably wasn't too different than what you were used to, right?
No, it really wasn't. I mean, it was a bigger, heavier version of a mod cart. Um, and yeah, it was a lot easier than I expected it to be. I think we had like one weekend where I flew up there, got fitted in the car, and then got to run on the track for a few hours. So that was really good. But other than that, I mean, that was about the only track time that I got in it before getting thrown into Crandon, which I was super excited for this whole thing. I've always wanted to race a pro light, and getting to do it at Crandon was like the ultimate, thing you could do. So yeah, it was so much fun. I mean, it really was like driving a bigger, quicker version of a mod cart. So that was fun getting to figure it out and get it to rotate, and all the dynamics were kind of the same there. But yeah, getting thrown into a stacked field of drivers is a little intimidating. Because everybody that races that class has been, for the most part, racing it the entire season. And then I was just there, to go there and do that one weekend of racing. But it was fun. I think I had one little rollover, which I took as a win throughout the entire thing, and it was during practice. So yeah, everything went pretty smooth the first day of racing. I was just figuring it out and figuring out how to drive with that many drivers close to you, especially doing the land rush start. It was like everyone's everywhere. You don't really know where you should be. You're just trying to pick a line and kind of go with it and hope for the best and hang on. So, yeah, I think the first day, I think I was within the top 10 or just outside it. Second day, came back swinging and finished fourth, which way overshot my expectations of how I thought I was gonna do and finish. So I was stoked about that.
Well, and that's it. Like I feel like there's unfinished business with you and Crandon still. We haven't had the right opportunity pop up, and I don't think it's in a side by side at Crandon. I feel like it's in a pro light, pro two, something like that. But I just feel like after that, like sort of those first weekend there, you finished fourth. One more lap, you were gaining on third place too. Like you had that in the bag. There was a
Yeah.
podium, and you podiumed at Crandon before, but I feel like part of me is like Mia's got unfinished business with Crandon at some point. We've got to see this thing through.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would go out back there and race a truck any day. I don't know what it is about it. I think I just do so much better in a truck. Like I pick it up a lot quicker. But I raced like little trucks for years, so maybe that's kind of where that comes from. But yeah, I would love to go back there in a pro class.
Yeah, you've tested 6100 trucks too before, right? Didn't you test a 6100 one time?
Mhm.
How was
Yeah,
that?
that was different. I mean, I raced a mod cart that had a sequential gearbox, so it was just backwards and forwards to shift. And this one was just the whole W pattern, which I literally never done before in any race car. So that was interesting to kind of figure out with it and gauge the RPMs and figure out when to shift, especially going into corners. But it was super fun. I mean, if I would have gone to race in the desert, I think it would have been an absolute blast. But yeah, I think I just love trucks. They're so much fun to drive and race and just figure out how to drive them.
I think that's what's crazy. I actually I'm putting it all together. Like I'm like, you've raced an insane or driven an insane amount of stuff. Like if you look back between pro lights, nitro cross, short course cars, mod carts, tested 6100 trucks, desert cars. I'm just like looking over like the course of your career. I'm like, you have driven a lot of crap, Mia.
Luckily, yeah, it's been so fun. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that I've raced and driven throughout the years, and everything, some of it's kind of the same dynamics, but for the most part, everything's different and everything handles differently, which I love. I love figuring out how to make a car work and figuring out how to make it drive. But yeah, I think trucks always have a special place in my heart.
So let's talk a second about skydiving, because I know you jumped out of a plane also. Red Bull, being a Red Bull athlete, gave you the opportunity here, well, about a year ago to go skydiving. How was that? Because I'm like, here's the girl that is driven everything. Now you decide to just jump out of an airplane.
Oh my god, it was terrifying. It was the most terrifying but fun thing I've ever done. I'd been in contact with Jeff from the Red Bull Air Force team to go out there to skydive Arizona because it's like 15 minutes down the road from me. And he's out there all the time, and he was trying to get me out there, and we were trying to get out there a few times, and the times just didn't line up. So this time it finally did. And I'm not a big heights person, to preference. I don't like heights. I don't do none of that. I'll ride roller coasters, that's about it. So going into it, I was nervous, but I was like, if I'm ever gonna jump out of an airplane, I at least want it to be with, the Red Bull Air Force team that they know what they're doing, they're professionals with it. So that made me feel a little better. But it was super fun. I mean, he talked me through everything. I got to watch him do a few runs before I got thrown into it. And it was an absolute blast. Like, I loved it a lot more than I thought I did. So it would definitely be something I'm doing again at some point.
It's not going to be a regular thing for you though. Just like, is it one of those where you feel
Mm,
like you want to go through the thing and like get your whole credentials so you can actually do solo jumps?
maybe at some point. I don't know. It still kind of scares me a little bit. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't test my luck.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be. I don't know. I only thing I've ever done skydiving wise is I've done the indoor skydiving, which is actually harder than it looks. And that's why I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like everyone's like, oh, let me jump out of a plane. If I'm stupid enough not to pull the cord, then I deserve to die. Like that's kind of what people are like, oh, I'm gonna pull the cord. And like, I don't know, I did the indoor skydiving and and it's supposed to simulate it. And I'm like, this isn't easy. Like being able to, move and like adjust your weight just right. And like that's why I'm like, man, solo jumping, like, I don't know. It takes some legit training to do that because you know, my experience inside the tunnel, where it's blowing you up, it wasn't easy.
No, it's really hard. I used to do that all the time when I was younger, and it was always super hard and challenging, and I think it's a little more challenging than jumping out of the airplane, but you still have to obviously use like the same techniques of being in an air tunnel. But I went with somebody, so I was attached to someone that knew what they were doing behind me. So I didn't really have to do much, but yeah,
You just
it's
got to
the
enjoy the
most,
journey.
but pretty much, yeah, they were like, "All right, we're gonna jump, and then you'll put your hands out, and then we'll just be in the air." And I was like, "Oh, sounds pretty easy."
Is
But
there
it's the
anything they tell you
most
absolutely not to do? Like when they do the thing, is there anything they tell you just don't do this?
um I don't remember. I know like no flailing arms or leg movements is not what you want to be doing. That was a big thing, but yeah, I think me doing it was a special exception because usually I think you have to take a certain amount of classes and do all this nonsense to be able to go and jump with somebody. But yeah, I mean, I showed up there and I did it within the same day, and it was the most terrifying, like, the first 5 seconds of my entire life. It literally just feels like you're jumping out of the plane and falling to your death, and then everything kinda slows down after that.
There's got to be that once the chute deploys and you
Yeah.
realize, hey, we're actually going to be okay. There's probably got to be a little bit of relief.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it is. Yeah, it's really fun, though. I could see where people get, like, the adrenaline seeking, like, passion for it. 'Cause yeah, my heart was definitely going crazy after that.
All right, so we're gonna put you on the spot here with a couple of questions. Not like that. I mean, I can put you on the spot, but I won't do it on live. Um, all right, so I guess question number one. This is actually one that I kind of asked Marty Fioca something in a roundabout way, but it's like, I mean, I've known you since you were 14, 15. You've been racing since you were a kid, but it's like I feel like now you're turning 23. How you've learned a lot, especially like the last 3 or 4 years. I know you've learned a lot, but it's like there's a lot of these young girls coming up. They're trying to be race car drivers. I mean, what is something that you've learned now that you wish you would have known when you were like 12, 13 years old? Because I mean, you've had the peaks and valleys in your career. Like it's been a roller coaster, that's for sure. Obviously, you've had some amazing brands supporting you and things like that. But what's something you wish you knew when you were younger?
Probably that, like you said, there's a lot of peaks and valleys that come with being a race car driver in general. And the valleys can definitely be really low, and it's easy to just kind of want to throw everything in and give up on the whole thing. But I think getting through those valleys and pushing forward even when you don't want to do anything is the key to going forward and getting somewhere and getting to where you want to be. That's probably the biggest thing, because like the peaks are high, you get so much happiness and joy out of whatever it is that you're doing, and yeah, I think just pushing forward always, no matter how you're feeling, is the key to it.
All right. So next up, I want the bucket list, and it can include some motorsport, but I don't really want I want you to dig a little bit deeper into your brain, Mia. Give me like 3 things on your bucket list you want to do, whether it be traveling, something you wanna try. I mean, you wanna be a phenomenal skateboarder like me. I'm just joking, but, like, there's gotta be, like, 3 things. What do you wanna accomplish in your life, whether it be on the racetrack, off it, things you wanna try, a place you wanna travel to you haven't done before? These are questions I actually don't know the answer to, so that's why I'm like, "This is gonna be interesting."
Yeah, let me dive into the depths of my soul here.
And you bought a house, that's check that's a box checked.
That is a box check. That was a big one. Yeah. Traveling, I really, really, really want to go to Hawaii and go somewhere that's like where you go. That's not super duper popular, but it looks like an absolute blast. So I would love to go to Hawaii.
Except for you hate
Racing.
flying. That's the problem, you hate flying.
I do hate flying, and I hate flying over the ocean for hours, so I don't really know how I'm gonna do that one.
Lots of booze.
God, yeah, I'm gonna be just taking Dramamines. Just knock me out the entire time and we'll be okay.
It's great when you get there. The good news is I've got a daughter that's probably going to go to college in Hawaii, so I'm sure Aunt Mia can or cousin or I don't know what you would be. Like I said, this is a weird family
Yeah.
relationship, but yeah, we'll have somebody over there. So
Yeah, I gotta go with, yeah, people that have been there and know like you guys, so maybe that'll be a good one.
well, we go about every other year. So you guys plan on coming next time, and we get a big enough house. It's like my cousin Bryant went this year, and like that was their thing. We went and he goes, "I love this North Shore." He goes, "Just local vibe. We know the local bar owner, the local we go to the farmers markets, we know the local people. We live like a local. It's kind of fun."
Yeah. No, see, that's exactly why I wanna go, but I almost went when I was 16 for, my graduation gift, or maybe it was my sweet 16 birthday, whichever, but I almost went, and I highly regret not doing it, so we'll definitely have to do that at some point.
I'm working on a
Um,
secret project in Hawaii. Maybe we'll include you. We're talking about shipping some side by sides over there and off-roading Hawaii. So
that would be so fun. Yeah, that's the life one. Race one, I think racing either a pro light or a pro truck again at Crandon would probably be another bucket list thing. I love it there. It's so much fun. What else? I would love to own just a Frenchie farm of rescued French bulldogs one day too.
that's the retirement job.
Yeah, well, yeah, near future maybe, but
Near future. I was gonna say, that's going to be a lot tougher job than being a race car driver. Like that's a commitment.
yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe hire some staff, aka my dad and my brother. No, but yeah, I think those are probably my top ones for sure.
Pretty solid choices.
I
We'll give you
think
that.
so. Yeah.
Frenchy Farm. That's the retirement gig, huh?
I kid about it, but if it ever like the opportunity ever came around, I probably would absolutely do
So I
it.
laugh. You kid about it, but you don't like you kid about it jokingly, but it's not a joke. It's Addie's that way with sharks. Like, I want to swim with sharks. Everybody's like, ah. She goes,
Oh
no, I
God.
literally want to go swim with sharks. In a cage? No. She goes, I want to swim with sharks.
Oh my God. That's
Now it's like
terrifying.
That's what she wants to do. Like, I have you watched the Shark Whisperer on Netflix, Ocean Ramsey?
Yes.
Yeah, that's literally what Addie wants to do. That's what she's going to college to do. Like, she wants to be the Shark Whisperer. Like,
Oh,
everyone
well,
thinks she's
that's
joking, and
awesome.
Addie's like, no, I'm dead serious. That's what I want to do with my life.
Yeah, that's awesome for one. Good for her. I don't think I'd ever have the guts to go and do that even in a cage.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, never know what the yeah. I will tell you, I got friends that have shark cages in Hawaii, and they do tourist stuff. You come to Hawaii, you're going in a shark cage.
Oh my God.
That's gonna be that's
Uh,
gonna be the hook. You come to Hawaii with me, you're going in a shark cage.
well, yeah, well, first I gotta get to Hawaii going over the ocean, so that's terrifying enough. And then I'm thrown into a shark cage with live sharks in the ocean.
Well, I mean, you could take a cruise ship to Hawaii and then stay in Hawaii for a week and take a cruise ship back, but it's gonna be like 3 vacations in one to do it.
Yeah. Well, then you have the chance of the boat crashing, and then what? Like that's a whole nother thing in itself.
I do say, like, if you're flying over the ocean, like, you honestly, if the plane's gonna crash, you got a better opportunity to live crashing into the ocean than you do, like, into the mountain or something.
And then getting eaten by sharks. I'm telling you, this is stuff I think about all the time. The most irrational things in the world.
Crashing an airplane and
Um,
getting eaten by sharks.
yeah.
You could crash into, have you seen that, thing about that floating island of trash they've got in the Pacific?
No.
It's actually sickening. There's literally a floating island of trash that's like miles and miles
Oh,
and miles, just of trash, and somehow with the currents and stuff like that, the tides is all like clumped together, and it's literally look it up. It'll make you sick that just humans on a human level are just that disgusting that we have
yeah.
this floating island of trash, but you can land the plane on the floating island of trash.
I will have to do a deep dive into that now. Yeah.
You're like, that's not where you thought this was going.
No. It never is.
All right. Well, I think
Um,
we'll wrap this one up here, but always fun having you, Mia. I know there's actually a lot more that I wish we could talk about that we can't talk about. So
I
all I
know.
will say is like literally watch this space because there's like this big 10,000-pound gorilla in the room that me and I have not talked about today that we really wish we could have.
Oh yeah, it's pretty big, so definitely stay tuned for that. It'll be awesome to say the least whenever it comes out. We'll have to get back on a recap after that.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a good time. So all righty, we are going to sign off from the General Tire Jim Beaver Show with Mia Chapman.